All right, welcome back to the Elias Macco Show, second hour of the program. Now, the race to lead the Quebec Liberal Party heating up, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Polls putting Pablo Rodriguez in the lead, but rival candidates are pushing back hard, saying this race is far from over. One of them is Charles Milliard, the former head of Quebec's Chamber of Commerce, who says the only poll that matters is on June 14th, when party members will cast their votes. In our special series on the Liberal leadership race, we've invited the candidates to sit down with us, and we've asked them to do one thing. Bring us their boldest ideas, their vision for rebuilding the party and on reconnecting with Quebecers. And again, bold ideas, we want to shy away from cliches as we try and introduce these candidates to you. Charles Milliard is in studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Milliard, for coming into studio.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So this is what I want to do. No cliches. I want bold ideas. Give me the bold idea that when Liberal Party members vote, they're going to check off your name.
Well, I'm going to start by saying that my candidacy is, in a way, the boldest idea in this campaign, because I'm not a politician. I'm 45 years old. I'm a pharmacist by trade. I used to be CEO of the FCCQ, as you mentioned. So I'm coming with a new tone, a new type of resume to lead the Liberal Party, the longest-serving party in the history of Canada, of Quebec. So that, in a nutshell, is the basic line, I would say. There are many challenges in Quebec, as you know. I'm going to talk about healthcare and education. Yeah. One bold idea that I'm bringing in this campaign is to have access, from a public service perspective, to virtual healthcare services, telemedicine 24/7. It has worked for the past years in the private sector. Yeah. It's time that the public system goes virtual as well. And you know what? It's going to be very helpful for mental health care, precisely.
Give me your vision for that. So how does it work? Is it every Quebecer has a Quebec healthcare app? Like, how is it working in your mind?
That's it. Well, actually, I want a hybrid system like the assurance médicament, for the medication we take. So we're going to let the private do what's it doing best right now. But I want the public system to have access. I want people to have access to doctors 24/7 virtually. And it's going to be very helpful in the different regions and rural areas of Quebec, where the access to first-line healthcare professional is a dire need, actually.
And to you, this is because you're looking at access to family doctors and maybe how clogged the emergency rooms are? You think that's a benefit here?
Yes, and I'm a pharmacist, so I know when you're sick, you need to look someone into the eyes and feel that you're being taken care of, whether it's physical or virtual. So this is something that I want to implement, and I think there's a lot of interest from doctors as well, because they can do that at home. They can do that at every time of the day. Yeah. And you know what? All the candidates in this race have been agreeing with me, so it's looking good.
And it's true. I have seen the coverage of, and I think it qualifies as a bold idea, right? Really,
thank you.
Honestly, it checked the box for me.
Moving on to idea number 2.
Well, no, but let me ask you one thing though.
Yep.
Because it's a great, big, bold idea, but it involves an app. It involves technology. And then my worry is you're going to get the boys from Saclic to come on down and design it. And then it's going to cost billions of dollars and no results. You brought up the private sector, and Bell Media owns us. We've got the Bell Healthcare Plan. I have this app that I use. It's all private, and it works.
And it works pretty well.
So how do you make sure it's not $1.1 billion later? It doesn't work.
When it comes to technology, I mean, we're going to need the help of the private, of course, because we're not doing well at the government right now. And you know what we need to do more is to have, I'm going to say tech geeks or IT guys and girls in the Salon Bleu more. Uh-huh. We need that expertise to be represented in the in our parliament, because obviously times they are changing. And we need M&As to be more actual on that. So we're going to need the help of the private on that area. But that's a pretty good question.
Let me ask you about you have another bold idea here. Hit me with your next bold idea.
Well, it's a long time request of the different student federation. It's about paying our interns. When it comes to future nurses, future teachers, both from the public and private sectors, I think we need to put our students and future adults in a less precarious, financial situation. So this has been asked for 10 years, and again, 3 weeks ago, Minister Derry said she's not gonna go forward with the idea. So we want to pay future nurses, future teachers, and if students are doing internships at the private sector, it's going to be 50-50. Repartition, if you want, between the employer and the public system.
Now, can I just ask you, because, finances are tight in this province, and, all of these measures would cost money. And I look at the fact that, all things considered, you compare Quebec to a lot of other jurisdictions, and the amount that you pay to go to school in Quebec versus other places seems like students have it okay in this province. So I wonder why that's such a priority for you, to lessen that burden, when some would argue the burden is already lower than in other places.
Well, I guess the cost of living is really getting higher and higher in Quebec. So, the different, how do we say that in English? Banque alimentaire.
Yeah, food banks.
Yeah, food banks. They have new clients right now, and they're called students throughout Quebec. And we've seen that pretty much in every regions that I visited in the past 10 months on this race. So again, I just want to accept this request from the student federations. I think it's going to cost between $300 and $400 million, but this is money that we're not going to put in helping the students in other situations, whether it's housing, whether it's financial aid for tuition fees and stuff. So this is something that I've been very, very clear about from the get-go.
The voice you're hearing is that of Charles Milliard. He's running for the leadership of the Quebec Liberal Party. So based on that promise, you know what? Listen, if you can increase the wealth of Quebec and bring in revenues, you can pay for any program.
Yep.
So give me a bold idea here when it comes to the economy.
It's about going back to prioritize our SMEs. We've been talking a lot about big companies in the past 6 years with Nordvolt, with Lyon Electric, and so on and so forth. I think Mr. Legault and Mr. Fitzgibbon played the lottery with our money. They bought a 649 with extra, and they failed in many situations. So we need to go back to what we're good at, which is SMEs, which is
small and medium-sized business,
which is companies with 25, 50, 100 employees. They're the one who are vitalizing actually our different regions in Quebec. So the economic plan that I put out with former Minister Bachan in this campaign, he's been with me since day one, is about rolling out the red carpet for SMEs, decreasing taxes for SMEs. We're going to have a look also at the wage taxes that entrepreneurs are paying right now, so that we can send a strong signal that if you want to open a business in Quebec and bring fiscal revenue so that we can pay for our social net, we're more than hoping to welcome your cases.
You said before, I want to bring in the tech bros and the tech gals, right? And we need to do some things a little bit different, bring in the private sector. I wonder, because when you said that, I'm thinking, United States, Elon Musk, Doge. That goes into my mind, right? And by the way, I'll go either way on whether it's a good thing or bad thing.
I'm not looking for Elon Musk, I can reassure you.
Sure, I understand that, but it's on the same vein that government has too many regulations. Yep. They're getting in the way too often. So on that vein, on the economy, do you feel that Quebec gets in the way of doing business? I'm looking at June 1st and the new regulations for Bill 96, which all I hear is going to be headache after headache, even for Francophones that, of course, want to protect the French language. They don't see the value here. So let me get your thoughts on that, on what Quebec has done to regulate our businesses to death.
There is way too much regulation in Quebec. To me, it's obvious. And I've heard some of my opponents saying that they want a ministry of on-regulation. I mean, that's kind of weird to have a ministry.
That's Doge without saying it, right?
So I would rather have a bill put into place that are going to force the different public servants to work towards more deregulation than having a ministry. This is something we need to do both from an economic perspective, but also from a linguistic perspective, especially with the OQLF. I'm sure your listeners know about the Go Abs Go Gate and so on and so forth. I think we need to change to refocus what the OQLF is doing right now.
Do you have a bold idea on refocusing the OQLF?
Well, I'll be more precise as to what I want the OQLF to do, and it's not to get in the way of businesses in Quebec. And we can say that, and I'm saying that in French as well. We can say that and still be strong and fierce promoters of French in Quebec without impeding on what the businesses have to do.
I'll give you some time here to wrap up with one more bold idea if you've got it for our listeners.
Well, I'm going to say that on identity, I mean, this is a field that we need to play on. We don't have to leave the CAQ and the PQ alone in that. So I'm the only one that has been courageous enough with proposing something, which is a bill on interculturalism, which is a way to recognize that Quebec is like a tree, and the tree trunk is the French language, of course, and that we have branches, which is the English-speaking community, our First Nations and Inuits, the different cultural communities we have, but we want them to bear fruits. We want them to grow with our tree trunk, which is the French language. And this is my answer to the divisive politics of the CAQ, and obviously the PQ, who wants to bring a custom at Gatineau instead of uniting Canadians.
But it also, with that answer, it seems to me that you also really do believe that integration is key.
Of course,
is that fair?
Of course, linguistic integration, economic, cultural. But I want us to be a liberal society, which means that we have to respect and defend all the minorities, and this is what the Liberal Party has been all about for 157 years, and hopefully for the next 10 years with me leading it.
Did it veer away the last couple of years from that front, do you believe?
What do you mean?
From the liberal ideas?
No, the liberal ideas have stayed strong, but obviously the CAQ has led Quebec in the wrong direction in that regard, and it needs to come back in 15 months from now.
Charles Milliard, running for the leadership of the Quebec Liberal Party. Thanks so much for coming to our studios.
Thank you. See you soon.